Hi everyone, my name is Duncan, and today we're going to explore the Catan-based board games that PLS headquarters has available for member libraries to borrow. We will go over the rules for the original Settlers of Catan game, as well as take a look at the other games we stock as well. The board games are available for member public libraries to borrow for up to 3 weeks to support programming. You are able to borrow more than one game at a time. And by borrowing the games, you are able to become familiar or test the waters before purchasing one of your own, or you can continue to borrow from headquarters. In total, we have 12 different versions of Catan. So this includes the original Catan, expansion sets for the original, so Seafarers, Cities and Knights, and Traders and Barbarians. You need the original to play these. We have some variations, so a French edition, a junior edition, a family edition, and then a 2-player card game called Rivals for Catan. And then some alternate gameplay and locations, so Settlers of America, Merchants of Europe, Elasund, and the Game of Thrones Catan. Let's take a look at how to play the original Catan. The object of the game is to be the first person with 10 victory points. You receive 1 victory point for each settlement you have, 2 for each city, 2 points if you have the longest road, and 2 if you have the largest army. In addition, players can purchase development cards, which can be worth victory points too. To set up the game, match the numbers on the long water tiles to create a perimeter. Next, randomly place terrain tiles in the center, and then randomly place the number tokens on the tiles. Each tile gets 1 number token except for the desert tile, which is home to the robber token. You will also place the 5 resource cards and shuffle the development cards and place them face down on the table. Now the game is set up. Each player chooses 1 color for their pieces. To start, players take turn placing 1 settlement and 1 road on any available hex intersection. Once every player has placed 2 settlements and 2 roads, the game can begin. The board will look something like this. Each player receives 1 resource card for each resource that their settlement is touching. For example, this orange settlement in the middle, if we get a little closer, we can see it is adjacent to an ore tile at the top, a brick tile, and a wood tile. Therefore, I would receive 1 ore card, 1 brick card, and 1 wood card. Important to note, players receive no cards from the desert tile. On your turn, players roll the die, then based on what number was rolled, the corresponding hex that has that same number produces its resources to all players who have a settlement or city touching that hex. You receive 1 resource for every settlement and 2 resources for every city. Let's take a look at where 6 is on the board. With a closer look, we can see that there are 2 tiles that have 6. Each of them have adjacent settlements. I've replicated the area on the left-hand side. We can see there are red and orange settlements next to the ore tile with 6, and red and white next to the brick tile with 6. Therefore, red and orange players would receive 1 ore card each, and white and orange players would receive 1 brick card each. If a 7 is rolled, whoever rolled it must move the robber token to a different hex. Whatever hex you choose, the robber will cover that number, blocking it from producing any resources until another 7 is rolled. Once a player has rolled the die and collected resources, they may trade with other players or the bank and buy things to increase their overall victory points. Here is a legend card that shows what resource cards are needed to purchase which items. Once a player has 10 total victory points, they are declared the winner and the game is over. Please keep in mind that similar to Monopoly, many players will have their own version of the rules and how to play. This is just a very brief overview to understand the basics of the game. If you would like more in-depth instruction on how to play this game or any of the others, please contact Duncan. When shipping out the games, we intend to place them in the interlibrary loan bins on top of other materials. When returning the games, please do so in the same manner. Never place items on top of the board game boxes. We would really like the lifespan of these games to last a long, long time. There are instructions in each of the game boxes that include a list of game components or pieces. You can use these booklets to ensure that all the pieces have been returned to the box. If you misplace or lose any of the pieces, please let Duncan know so we can replace them as soon as possible. To request any of these games, please contact Barb by email or phone and note which game you would like. If you have a board game request or want to learn more about the Catan games, please contact me by email or phone. Thanks, everyone.